Conferring with writers. What is conferring? Take a moment or two to briefly discuss what you already know about conferring with students. Think about the types of things that you do in your classroom, or the types of things that you've seen other teachers do while they're conferencing with their students. Pause the video. Conferring with students. Conferring with students is a very short process. It lasts only 2 to 7 minutes. It is a one-on-one conversation between teacher and student. The teacher should always start the conference with a lasting compliment, something that's going to get the student motivated to continue the conference and to continue doing well. Remember, when you're conferencing, it is a teaching point that you are doing with your students. It is not troubleshooting. Always know that while conferencing, you should have direct conversation with the student. You should have talked with your student about what he or she is going to need to do in order to make their writing better. Student work. Here is a sample of student work. I would like you to get into pairs or a group of 3 if necessary. Choose a student work sample and read carefully. Give a compliment and look at what the student's strengths are in this writing. Pause the video, get with your partner, and do this activity. There are 4 parts of a conference. There is the research phase, the decision phase, the teaching point, and at the end of a conference, always make a record. What is the research? The research is getting an assessment of how things are going for your writer. This is the portion of the conference phase where you need to ask questions. When having conferences with younger children, questions should be simple. An example would be, tell me how your writing is going. When you conference with older children, your questions can be more specific. Tell me about what types of crafting techniques you are using in your writing. When you first start a conference, you need to know where your student is or how your student is feeling about his or her writing. Let's pause and try. With your same partner, pretend one of you is a teacher and the other is a student. Look at the work sample that you chose and ask a question about the writing. Remember, you need to take a look at what grade level your child is in to know if you need to ask a simple question or a more specific question. Please pause the video and try. Decide. Teacher's knowledge base about a student work as a writer. As a teacher, we have a fistful of information that we already know about writing that we want to teach our students. This is the portion when you need to know about writing and how it will be beneficial for this student. What does this student need to know? This is your teaching part of your conference. You have to decide on a point in which you're going to confer with your student on which point is most important. What can I show or do with this student that he or she could not have done without me sitting here? Remember, conferencing is not troubleshooting. You are not taking a look at every single thing that is wrong on this student's work. What is the most important thing that you can teach this student that this student couldn't do without you teaching it? Let's pause and try the deciding phase. Get with your partner and switch positions. If you were a teacher during research, you are now the student. Take a look at your student's writing. What are the weaknesses of the student's work that you see? When deciding what to teach, remember some of these questions. What would bring quick success? What would be a stretch, a risk, or a challenge? What is not likely to come up in whole class instruction? Is this something I need to reteach or extend? And what does the student want to learn? Pause the video and try this with your partner. Remember, you are looking now at what is the most important weakness that this student needs to know and learn in order to make the next writing piece, the next portion of the process, better. Pause the video and try. Direct instruction. When you're now moving on to teaching, you need to always remember that this is a direct instruction focused lesson. You're looking at the weakness of the student and you're showing them what to do better, how to do it better. Some things that you may be teaching are strategies. Some may be techniques that the student needs to know in order to make a better writing piece. Don't forget to ask questions. Remember to have your student ask questions too. Maybe there's something that they would like to work on that you know you can teach. Relationships and conventions. Sometimes students have great writing, but their conventions lack in some areas. During the teaching phase, this is a great way to show and tell. Show and tell is using mentor texts, student works, or modeling how to do it. During your mini lessons, you do mentor texts. But when you're conferencing, don't forget to pull that mentor text back out. And if that's the thing that the student is having trouble with, it's a great way to show them how to do it. Use your other mentor text to show or to help the student write something that they're having trouble with. You can also show the student other student works. Oh, look how well this student did this. I would like you to try it this way as well. Or another way, if you do not want to use a mentor text or a student work, is to model it in your own writing with your student during the conference. Now, moving on to pause and try. Go back to your partner and switch roles again. Think back to what your partner decided to teach. Now it's your turn to teach the point. For show and tell, knowing that you don't have mentor text at hand right now, explain with your partner after you've taught the point, or explain how you would use a mentor text or model or another resource to show the student how to create what that weakness is. So how to make it better. You may pause the video and try this with your partner. The last portion of a conference is making a record. At the end of the conference, you need to show what you have taught, what your goal was, what your teaching point was. This is a great way to show how well your students are progressing throughout the year. It's also a great way for you as a teacher to know from beginning to end, what have I taught, what has the student learned, and where am I going next? Pause and try. With your partner, choose a record-keeping form that suits your style best and the grade of your child. So take a look at the different records and choose which record you think would best suit your child's writing. Switch roles once again and fill in the record-keeping sheet together, knowing what you decided to teach, what was your goal, and how well did the teaching go. Discuss your record-keeping sheet and what you liked about it, what was missing, and what you think how it would make it better in the future. Or if you wouldn't use this, why or why not? Pause the video and try. For next time, read Giving Feedback on Student Writing. This is an article about how to give feedback in each stage of the writing process. Once you've read the article, you're going to use the student work sample that I gave you during this workshop, and then you're going to choose another teaching point that you could take from it and document on your record-keeping sheet. While doing this, remember the different types of feedback and think about the different processes in which a student goes through in one piece of writing. More reading material is Conferring Toolkits with Mentor Texts. After you're reading about mentor texts with conferencing, I would like you to take your student work and choose a mentor text that would support that teaching point from your student work. How will you use it to support your student, and how else could you use the mentor text to show what you would like your student to learn? Another great resource I would like you to check out is a video with Miss Noonan Making Better Writers on YouTube. This is a video from the student's perspective. This student really appreciates her teacher taking her time and showing her what to do, giving her compliments, and making her writing better. Sources. Thank you for sharing in this Conferring with Students during Writing workshop. I hope you enjoyed it.